frames out of basswood. Basswood's a very soft wood to carve, very consistent, doesn't have a lot of knots. So it works great for the very intricately carved frames. After I cut the frame, and these are called finished corner frames because you can't see the joint, right? Like a lot of the frames that you buy are chop and join where it's molding pre-finished, they just chop it, glue it, you can kind of see the how it doesn't match up in the corner. Well, these are finished corners, so I start with the raw wood, I carve, or I sand the corners so that you don't see that miter joint, and then I start doing the layers of primers and clays, and the first coat is gesso. And what gesso is it's calcium carbonate. It's mixed with rabbit skin glue, and the ratio is very important because you get too much glue, it'll end up cracking a lot more. You don't get enough glue, and the clay and the gold will pop off. So clay, which is this frame, it's red and black. Clays come in a lot of different colors. And work. So I don't know if you noticed, but I rubbed some Vaseline on my arm. That creates a static feel, and this is a squirrel hair brush. And so I'll rub that on. That's going to help pick the gold up. And then when I lay it down, there's actually more attraction to the water, and it's going to pull off my brush.
At today's gold prices, what's the actual value of the gold that you're going to put on that frame?
About $2 a sheet, and this is half a sheet. Cut it in half. They come in 3-inch squares, and I don't want to waste that much, so I cut them for the particular frame. The gold's separated by this tissue paper, and it has a very fine dust on it called rouge, so it doesn't stick to the paper. I'm going to make this look really easy because I've been doing it so long, kind of like Scott. That's one of the markers of a good frame is just really good lap lines. I've seen a lot of frames recently, and I don't know who's making them, but the lap lines are really chubby, really thick, and it just doesn't look as good.
If you have a bad day and that sheet doesn't work out, how do you recover the gold?
You can pick them off the ground sometimes, just as long as they don't fall in the water. Like I'll get puddles of water underneath me. So I'll do that. Sometimes you just lose the gold. There's $1, there's $2.
You have to avoid caffeine and other to enable you to have a steady hand.
Yeah, I actually don't take caffeine, so that works out good for me, I guess.
If you drink caffeine, you should relax.
Finishes Scott's been right in the middle of designing the profile of the wood and the finish and the gold. Oh, that's something I should go back and talk about is the profiles. A lot of my shapes are custom. I have a place in California that grinds the knives for me, and I'm the only one that can use that shape. So, we all have our different things that we enjoy. Can you see that very well?
Yeah.
Like it's
Shiny
polished.
up. Yeah.
So I have to be careful because if I slip, I'm going to put this nasty, shiny groove right up. Any loose gold's going to just come off. It's going to look like I press it down, but when I do the next process that I'll explain, it's just going to pull it off. Like, I only put black on the highs, like the spots that I burnished, so that it would have a contrast. If you left the whole frame red clay, this frame is going to be really warm. So when you put it on your painting, depending on the painting, sometimes that warmness is needed, other times it isn't. And Scott's particular taste is just a little bit of black with the red, and it cools it down just enough that it's not like hot and just